If you're a first-time home buyer, you want to listen closely because I'm going to talk about a really cool scenario that just happened where I saved my buyer $5,000 in an unlikely scenario. Stay tuned. So to give you context, my client walked into this new build home and he loved it. And he was like, yeah, I really want to put in an offer on this, but I might need some help, either with coming off the purchase price or seller concessions to go towards closing costs, just whatever you could do. Ideally, I'd like it to be X amount of dollars. The home was listed at $345. We wanted it to be just a little bit lower. So what I did is I went and ran some comparable sales. I wanted to see what had sold in the area and see if there was a range that I could then operate in. Okay. If there's 4 or 5 other homes in the area that were listed at $350, but sold for $340, and that gives me a really great range to then to operate in. So when I did that research, comparable home sales in the neighborhood, there was not a single home that sold below list price. Everything sold at or above. And so I was like, okay, not exactly what I was hoping to find. And then what I did is I researched that exact new build, who that builder was. I went back to their agent's previous listings of those homes over the course of the previous year, and I found the exact same thing to be true. They sold at or above list price. So what does that mean? It means A, the home is listed at market value. It truly is. And B, it shows that buyers are willing to pay that. They are willing to pay that or more. So I take that data to my client and I say, hey, this is the data that I found. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in our favor very well. So it's unlikely that the seller is going to come off their price much at all. I just want you to be prepared for that, but we can still try. So I suggest, we go for $5,000 off. And I'm not just pulling that number out of my butt. I'm coming at it from data yet again. There is data in our market center that shows homes that have not had a price reduction, homes that are marketed and priced appropriately out the gate, on average sell for 98.5% of their list price. So 98.5% of $345, that difference is about $5,000. So my suggestion is, hey, let's see if we can get $5,000. What I will do is call that agent rather than submit an offer cold so that we can then start the conversation of potentially getting you a discount. The reason I don't like to submit an offer cold is because you lose all context. You lose all relationship. You lose a lot. You truly, truly do. And just by having a simple conversation with somebody, you can potentially make your sellers thousands of more dollars or save your buyers, in this scenario, thousands of dollars. So what did I do? I call up that agent and I'm very direct. That's how I operate. I say, hey, this is where we're at. My client loves your home and wants to move forward, but we need help on closing costs. Ideally, they like to get 10, but let me know what it is that you and your seller can do. And if we can, we'll make something happen. And so that simple conversation, we have a little bit more of a back and forth, but that's essentially what it was. He goes to his seller, they rework numbers, they get it back to us later. Yeah, we could actually do $5,000 in seller concessions to help cover your closing costs. And so I view that as a massive win because this seller had not discounted a home in the previous year and no home in the neighborhood had sold at a discount for that previous year. Everything sold at or above list. So by having this simple conversation, telling them where we are, how much we love the home and where we need to be, putting the ball in the seller's court to say, what are you going to do? Are you going to meet us there or not? Really opens up the conversation and really puts everybody in a position to move forward together. And that's the goal. The goal is to move forward together because if either side is extremely unhappy with how the deal's going, you don't have a deal. You truly don't. If your buyer doesn't want to be under contract, they will nitpick and find every single thing possible to get out of it. If you have a seller that doesn't want it, then they're going to refuse to do any sort of repairs or anything like that down the road. So it's beneficial that both parties enter the agreement happy. So my buyer was able to get a discount in a market and with a builder that didn't have a track record of providing a discount, And now the seller gets a buyer for this new build home that is not complete yet, meaning that they might save money on marketing, on it potentially sitting on the market, even though the data didn't indicate that, but it's still a risk. So the seller sells their home faster, my buyer gets a deal, it's a win-win. That's what having a conversation can do, and that's what working with a realtor can look like, especially as a first-time buyer. When you go into this whole home buying process, you have no idea what's going on, what's appropriate, what isn't. There's people out there who like to play games, and that's okay. I prefer to be direct, say, hey, this is where we are, this is where we need to be. What can you do? And more often than not, that seller is going to do what they can to make a deal happen, because every single day a home stays on the market, it is worth less and less and less. So when you present them, even verbally, with, hey, this is a very likely scenario for you, what can you do? Can you make this happen? They are very incentivized to take it serious, especially if it's not a lowball offer. And when I'm coming from a place of data showing that, hey, homes that haven't had a price drop on average sell for 98.5%. 90.5% of 345 is 5,000. That difference, I guess, is 5,000. Then I'm not lowballing that person. They're not getting offended. And that conversation went that way. He was very open, was like, okay, let me see what I can do and get back to you. And now we are under contract. My buyer is having the majority of his closing costs, if not all of them, paid for. And both sides are happy, which is what it's all about. So if that's something that you want to do and you live in the Springfield area, shoot me a message. I'll have my information in the description. If you don't live in Springfield and you still want to talk to me, you still want to ask me questions about this, my information is down below. I don't care where you live. Shoot me a text, shoot me an email. I'll do my best to help you. And if you don't know somebody, I'll help you find somebody who thinks just like me in your area and get you guys connected. So I appreciate it. We'll talk soon. Bye.